Yes, we are. So wait just a second. I could be wrong, but I think we're on time and everything.
Yay.
We are at a very special place today. If you're joining us, this is Memory Bound, but we're not at Memory Bound. We're with Janet at her beautiful holiday decorated home. So Janet, welcome and thank you for having us today.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'm so glad everybody could come.
Oh, me too. We've got people joining us, and yesterday, if you're familiar with the weather here in the Midwest, we had those, what were they, like 70-mile-an-hour gust winds, lots of rain and tornado warnings, but no tornadoes where we're at, but we did have a lot of wind. It sounded pretty creepy.
It was scary. I was worried there for a while. Things were pelting the windows.
They were. We went to our basement, and I noticed in your neighborhood, Janet, there's a lot of sticks on the ground, small branches.
There are some work for me to do. The good thing is all the leaves that were in our yard blew to other people's yards.
Oh, so I hope they didn't blow to Ankeny. They might have, but that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. So we're at Janet's. This is her entryway, and everyone, you are in such a treat for today because we are here and Janet's going to show us around, tell us about some of her holiday decorations. Some of them she created herself. Some of them are vintage pieces. Some of them are family pieces. And we're so happy you're joining us. So Janet, we've got Denise and Janie and Mary's here and Ruby. And if you guys know Janet, and I'm sure you do, we know that you're in for a treat. So,
well, thank you, Kelly.
And Christine said her leaves are all gone too. So I hadn't thought about that, but great.
Yeah, it worked out well this time. It could have gone the other way. Well, I'm glad that you're here today, and just everybody welcome. It's really fun for me to share some of the things that I've put together for Christmas. What you're going to see today is pretty much how I always decorate the house for Christmas, although I do different themes for my trees every year. I happen to have a birthday in December, Kelly, so over the years I've been given a lot of different ornaments.
A lot of Christmas things.
Yes, and Christmas things, and so I have a pretty big collection, probably way more than I need to have, but that just enables me to have different themes for my trees each year.
So Janet, how do you decide on themes?
You know, it's just wherever the spirit moves me, Kelly.
Okay, so you just kind of see what you're into for that year.
Yeah, so years ago when we first got married, I decided that I had the crazy idea, and I think it was popular at the time, to do a tree in every room. And that was kind of my initial vision, and I thought, I'll have a little tree in the bedrooms and bathrooms and all that, and I never quite made it to that, but I have, like this year I put up 5 trees, and that's pretty typical. Sometimes more, sometimes fewer, but usually right around 5. And this main tree in the entryway is our biggest tree, and it usually is more I guess I would say probably the traditional tree that has kind of a lot of our family ornaments. And some of you may recognize these types of snowflakes. These were made by my husband's grandmother, and I think they're...
Is that tatting?
Tatting, yeah.
You know, it's funny because my husband's grandma did tatting and made lots of things like that too.
And they're just amazing, and they're stiff. They've been starched. And these are like one of the favorite things that we have to get out every year. So I have a lot of kind of family things on this tree, and it does vary a little bit. But last year I made these framed ornaments, which I thought would be great on this tree because I usually keep this one kind of red and green. And so it was really fun to put these up for the first time last year. So these have more kind of current pictures of family in them.
And those are the Tim Holtz frames, and we do have some this year. We have the really nice neutral ones, and I have to tell everybody I'm really sorry because they're in a bag back at Memory Bound. I was going to bring them to show you, but and
This is my previous kitty, Tinsel, who has passed away. But this was made with one of our round coasters.
Oh, yes.
That we made, gosh, it seems like a long time ago, Kelly.
You made, yeah, but it was this year.
Yeah, it was just a demo earlier this fall where we made these little coaster ornaments. So you can make these really easily. And I went back and added a photo to this one, so super fun. So I've got a combination of kind of more traditional things here. I will point these out, Kelly, since Elf on the Shelf is big. These were my grandma's, and don't they look like elves on the shelf?
They look like the Elf on the Shelf. Oh my gosh.
But they're the original little guys, and they are from the 50s.
So that's your grandma's,
yeah,
and here's another one?
Yeah, and they used to be, she would always pose them in different places around her house. I guess she was like the original.
She was the original Elf on the Shelf. Oh my gosh, I wonder if anybody recognizes those or remembers those.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else that I could point out on this tree for you. The pine cones I collected in Texas. They're giant.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right. And for my wrapping, I have started to use ribbon or twine on my wrapping instead of more of the curly ribbon and stuff. As I've used up the curly ribbon, I've started to use this because I can reuse it from year to year.
Janet, it's really fun because Joyce has the same two elves.
No kidding.
And Denise says she has lots of tatted items from her grandmother.
Oh my gosh.
So, there's another piece of ribbon.
Yeah, this is just an example of how I think just ribbon adds so much. I don't know, it's more interesting, and you can reuse it from year to year, which I really like. So I will keep that, and I'll just iron it and use it again. But this is a tradition that I wanted to point out to people. At our house, and for years and years, Santa, when he leaves packages, they're always wrapped in white tissue paper.
Oh, okay.
So that's how he wraps his gifts. He dropped off this one early.
He's already been here.
He just dropped off this one early. So that's how we can distinguish the gifts that come from Santa. But I do think it's really pretty to have the ribbon around your packages. And if we can come over here, Kelly, just a couple other things. This is a kind of a bottle brush wreath.
Yeah,
that was my grandma's.
That was your grandma's. Oh my gosh!
Used to hang in her kitchen window. And then down here, Kelly, and I don't know if we can get down here.
Sure, we can.
These little Kelly's going down.
I'm down. I don't know if I'll be back up, but I'm down.
These little boots were my mom's, and they're probably from the 1930s or 40s.
Are they like paper mache?
They're paper mache,
okay.
and they would have been filled with candy at the time. So I found these treasures like when I was cleaning out my mom's house, and this little guy, he's very old.
I kind of recognize, I think maybe we had a candle, something like that when I was a kid. I recognize that.
This was a little gift that my mom made for her mom. So my mom made for my grandma, like as a little
oh my gosh
school present, you know, where you make a present for your mom.
Well, Janet, we have mini calendars for 2022,
oh, yeah,
so somebody could make something similar like that.
They were ahead of their time. And then these, Kelly, these are just light bulbs. And these are the ones that we used to put on our house when I was a kid. And when I cleaned out my parents' house and went up in the garage, I found like buckets and buckets of these light bulbs. And
well, they look neat, especially the two colors together.
Yeah, I just brought them home and I cleaned them up, and now I just put them in a bowl.
Well, then they look nice with a ribbon.
Yeah. So that.
Let's get a nice picture from
Oh, we should
afar.
talk about the sled too. I forgot, Kelly.
Oh yes. Let's get over here to your entrance.
That sled is my sled from when I was a kid, and it was just sitting in the garage one year. And I thought, well, you know what? I could probably use that for decorating because I'm not going down any hills.
You're not going sledding,
no,
Janet?
Not at all. And the ice skates I picked up at Goodwill. This little tree, I like to find things on the curb, Kelly, and this was free.
You found that on the curb?
But it was pink. It was bright pink, like fluorescent pink, and I spray painted it. It only took like 3 cans of spray paint.
Okay, Janet, I have to know, do you remember the trees like that Doodlebug sold a few years ago?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a Doodlebug tree.
Well, it could have been.
Could have been.
It could have been. It didn't have a tag on it. I don't remember, but it was bright pink, and that didn't really work for me, but I thought, how fun if I could get the spray paint to stick to it.
Yeah,
and it
so
did
you
work.
can change the color of anything.
Yeah, With enough spray paint, you can do pretty much anything.
And look, everyone, if you have an old sled at home, you can add some greenery and a bow and skates if you want to.
Yeah,
some mittens and it looks really nice.
We have, I think this greenery came from Memory Bound, and it's just 2 pieces of it diagonally. And then I got some wired ribbon from the store. And I think Dawn might have even helped me tie this pretty bow.
Dawn is a great bow maker. She has some talent there.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed keeping this out. And I just store it like this. I put a garbage bag over it. I just keep it out, or keep it stored like that, and then it's really easy to take out.
That's really neat, Janet. That's right when you walk in. Janet has a beautiful entryway, so she's got room for all of this, which is nice.
Oh, there's one more thing, Kelly.
There's
I forgot.
one more? Oh.
This little teddy bear.
Oh my gosh.
He is over 100 years old. He was my grandma's, and he comes out only once a year.
He comes out to see you once a year?
He comes out of storage, and he always sits by the tree.
Look at that. And that was your grandma's. How about the bed, the little doll bed?
The doll bed was my mom's. And then these little books were mine. So these were from my childhood, and there's just 4 little books.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
This is like one of my favorite things of all time. So that always just is fun to get out. So shall we continue on, Kelly?
Yes. Gail said she made a blue tree for her grandsons because that's their favorite color. And she used spray paint, so it worked really well.
Hey, yeah.
And Lisa has a sled like yours. We're getting lots of really nice comments.
Fun.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. If you are just arriving, we're memory bound, but we're on site today at Janet's house to tour all of her beautiful Christmas decorations and maybe give some ideas to each of us and inspiration and kind of see what Janet's been up to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super glad that you're here. So this room, Kelly, let's maybe start over here. Maybe was it 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
We had a very talented gentleman from local to Memory Bound paint some beautiful signs for us. And I found this one at the store, and I absolutely loved it. And then this became like the inspiration for this tree. I love the colors in this, and so I decided to create a tree that was based on the colors in that picture. So I have a bunch of my grandma's shiny bright ornaments.
Oh yeah, Katie's been anxious to see these.
Yeah, I have a lot of her shiny bright ornaments, and I have them stored by color. So I was able to just go through and pull out all the green ones. And then so I started to create a tree based on the themes or the color scheme in that particular picture. And so I just pulled in some other tones that I saw in the picture.
A little bit of gold, green,
and whatnot. And then I just filled in with other stuff. So this tree is a combination of old ornaments and newer ornaments. And these icicles, I don't know if anybody had these as a kid.
I remember those.
I found these at a thrift shop in Oklahoma, and I just had to have them, and they're just so much fun to put on the tree.
They are. I think when you add the lighter things, it makes everything else pop.
I think so.
Like on your big tree, the snowflakes, your tattered.
The tatted.
I'm used to Tim Holtz, the tatted snowflakes. They make everything else kind of pop.
I think it's true. It's true. This is one of my favorite old ornaments for if Katie's watching. I just love the shiny bright ornaments that are that mercury glass. So there's really a combination of new and old on this tree. Like these came from Target a couple years ago. And then over here, I just pulled in some additional things that aren't even necessarily Christmas, but that fit the color scheme.
But are green. Oh my gosh, this is so nice, Janet. When I walked in, this really caught my eye.
Well, thank you. I have to say that I love this picture so much. It's been really fun working with this every year. So my mom collected green glass, so this is a good opportunity to get hers out. Yeah, so it's not even necessarily Christmas, but it
Beth wants
works.
to know if you have a pickle ornament to put on your green tree.
You know, I do not have a pickle
Well,
ornament.
that's maybe something we need to get. And Mary says that looks like a Jeff Tadson, and it is. It is a Jeff Tadson.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm just showing this whole corner because when you walk in, this just all catches your eye. It looks very classy, and it's
Well, thank you.
It's very neat, Janet. I love it.
Thank you. I love to rescue things, Kelly. So you will see a lot of things in my house that I have rescued, like this little deer. He came from Goodwill.
You rescued him?
Yes. Isn't he adorable? As soon
He
as I
is.
saw him, I grabbed him and I wouldn't let him go. And that small dish with a lid is what they call Vaseline glass, which means it glows in the dark. And it also came from Goodwill, and so did the little footed compote there. But the green dishes were my grandma's, and I have a whole set of those.
Well, and everyone, look how Janet just put a couple things together and she added a little sprig of pine. And it makes it look like a little Christmassy vignette.
Right. It doesn't take much to do that.
No, it doesn't at all. That looks amazing.
So I wanted to show you because when you come to my house, it's different every year for Christmas because this is whatever inspires me. And this is a picture I thought was so pretty. I found this at Goodwill. And we cleaned it up. It was really in bad shape. What did I pay for it? $1.99.
Way to go, Janet. That's a bargain.
But isn't it beautiful?
It
is.
It's
a chalk drawing. It's got the name of the original artist. And if you take the frame off, you'll see it's actually
So it
original
is chalk? Oh my gosh.
So I thought, you know what? This deserves a place where somebody will appreciate it. So I brought it home. And so sometimes, instead of this green theme, sometimes we have a blue theme in here, and I put all of my blue ornaments and everything changes to this theme. So
you're just inspired.
I'm
you
just
take
inspired.
Something that inspires you and you build your display around it.
Exactly.
Which we could all do that.
Exactly. This is another piece I found at Goodwill, and I just think it's so gorgeous. It's a cruel, I think is
that
what
what
it
you
is.
call it?
Mm-hmm. And if you can see, there's pink and kind of red in here, and it reminded me of partridges in a pear tree, which I think is what it is. So sometimes I put this in my kitchen, and then I put colors on my kitchen tree that pull colors from this design. So I think it's really fun to be inspired by different things that you see.
I do too, Janet.
So this little tree, I think I got this maybe even free at Goodwill because it doesn't have a stand and they were going to throw it away. But the vase that it's in was my mom's. And I have a particular weakness for milk glass. So I do collect that, a lot of
here's
that.
Another green.
Yeah.
Some more green for this room.
These were from Dawn for our favorite things party one year. And this is my mom's green vase. This came from Goodwill or one of those stores. Someplace like that. I like to rescue things so that they get a second chance at life.
And I think here, Janet, you show that you can take an everyday, just a white pitcher.
Yeah.
And you put some greenery in it, and you've got a decoration.
Exactly. And this is not necessarily Christmas either. I know you collect these.
I do collect those. I do not have that one. I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't have one like that.
Yeah, I think I found this on a drive to Texas somewhere and I had to have it. But this has got some of my mom's old ornaments from her tree, which weren't necessarily shiny bright, but just silver. And I just think that they're really pretty when they're put in a dish like that.
So don't throw away your old stuff.
No,
for sure.
No, not at all.
You can decorate with it.
Not at all. Shall we continue on?
Yes,
Kelly?
let's go.
All right. So in this room, usually I put up my Christmas village, and I have a Dickens village. And luckily in this house, we have 2 spaces on either side of the fireplace that work great for my Dickens village. This year I only have 10 total houses up, but I have probably
you have a few more.
35 maybe.
Janet, you must have a really big storage area.
Well, I've gotten pretty good at compactly storing stuff. It does take a fair amount of space for that. And then this year, I decided I wanted to make a pom-pom garland. So this was new to me this year. So this garland I made with the pom-pom makers, which you can buy online. And it makes it super easy to make pom-poms. I've been making a whole bunch of pom-poms
Does it take much yarn, Janet?
It does not take as much yarn as you think. And I bought way more yarn than I need. So I'll be making a lot of pom-poms, Kelly. No, it doesn't take much yarn at all.
Well, I like how you've done the double strand. You've got the small felt balls going across the back and then the bigger ones. That
was fun. Kind of like we've talked about making banners at the store. It's kind of fun to put 2 layers, and it's sort of the same idea. I was initially going to do like some tassels, but then I thought, I think I'm just going to leave it. But it's all hooked up here with just painter's tape that I just taped to my mantle.
That's good.
And then that's why I had to put a significant amount of greenery.
A lot of greenery over the top.
Because you always have to cover your
Texas pine cones.
Yes, yes. So
well, everybody's loving it, Janet. We're getting so many comments about they had that. They love your how you put your amazing heirloom things together.
Oh, Kelly, I would say that, when you've lost someone, it becomes comforting to have reminders of them, at least for me, at the holiday season. So at first, it was really hard for me to get out my mom's things or my grandma's things at Christmas. But over time, it's become...
Well, it's good memories.
It is.
And, reminds you of your days gone past and memories with your family and things like that.
It does. And so now it's something that I look forward to because it just brings back such great memories. Down here, Kelly, I will just point this out. This is...
oh, yes, we need to show this.
This is just a piece of our wood paper. And we have a whole bunch of different kinds of wood paper.
We do. Just ask Maggie. She's the expert.
We have to keep it in stock for Maggie. Yeah, and I like it too. So I just formatted and printed some text onto a sheet of paper. And then I cut it down to fit an 8x10 canvas. And I just glued it on. I think I used a glue stick. And just inked around the edges. And that's it.
And it looks nice. And those canvas boards come in lots of different sizes. They come 6x12, 8x10, 5x7, 12x12. So you can do a lot with them.
Yes. And there have been times when I've done this kind of thing, printed something and then framed it. And if I've got the right frame that works with it, I have done that too, but the canvas is easier, and then you can store it so much more easily.
So, and then you just put it down here with your things, and it adds a lot, really. Without it, it's okay, but it looks so much better with that little sign there.
Right, right. And this little lantern was mine when I was a kid, and my grandma got it for me as a child, and it's actually one of those metal lanterns, and it does work. And Kelly, these are a precursor to Doug's trees.
They are. They do look a little fancier than Doug's trees.
But you'll have to tell Doug, if you're watching, I found these at Goodwill. I have them in 3 sizes. So I don't know if Doug would be wanting to make these. But I really like those and put those out every year. And this tree, Kelly, is actually not a tree. We had an artificial tree that kind of went by the wayside, needed to be thrown out, and so I kept the top.
Oh my gosh, that's a good tip for people.
It's just
if your
the top.
tree dies, just keep the top.
Yeah. And the other thing that I did, Kelly, is these are the branches from
Those are the
same
branches?
Tree.
Oh my gosh,
so
I love it.
If you looked at the ends of them, they have that kind of
that
bent
twisty
end.
wire.
Yeah. But they work just fine when you put it together.
They do.
So, and that way I don't have to store a big long piece of greenery.
Now, Angie has a question. She's asking if we sell canvas. We do sell stretched canvas and canvas boards, like what Janet put her sign on. It's canvas. She's covered up the canvas because she attached her paper to it, but it's got canvas on one side, and you could paint on it or whatever. Janet just put a paper on there with the sign.
Here's another. This is another canvas that I made a few years ago. In a class, and this is a smaller canvas. What would that be? 5x7?
5x7.
Yeah, and so you can see the texture of it here. And I probably painted over the top of that.
Painted it a little bit, and she die cut some dimensional flowers. So it shows you can make some pretty cool decorations. Janet, you made one of those for each season,
for every season.
Okay, that's what I thought. Those were good classes.
Those were fun. Back in the day, Kelly. Back in the day. All right, and we'll continue on to the kitchen. You can watch out for the cat, who seems to be oblivious to us.
Yes, I was thinking it's a she, right?
Yeah.
She was going to perform for us today.
Well, if she wakes up,
we'll see if she wakes up. We'll have to see.
So in the kitchen here, this tree I noticed is kind of on its way out. It's a little tippy.
It looks a little angled.
It's leaning a little bit. I think this might be one of the last years for this tree, but I love the color of this tree, which is why I've kind of kept it. And the reason you see all this in here is because it's got some unfortunate gaps. So I just stick these picks of greenery.
Oh my gosh, they add a lot to it though.
And it covers up all the problems, Kelly.
Okay, all right, everyone. If you've got a gappy tree, and many of us do,
yeah,
Janet just has these little picks
and
of
you just pick them
greenery
up at the floral supply store, and you just stick them in there. Yeah. And this particular tree has a set of ornaments that I made, and there might be viewers watching, Kelly, who have a similar set. I had a class at the store many, many years ago where we made this set of ornaments, and I still use them. So
I know I can't remember exactly when that was, Janet.
It was many moons ago, Kelly. And the other thing I'll point out about this tree and some of my other trees, these are just die cuts and punches that I've cut out of cardstock, just using a regular old punch or dies, whatever you have. And I think it's just really fun to tuck these little snowflakes in your tree. And you don't even need a ornament hook because they just kind of stick
even better.
in there. So at the end of the season, I just kind of gather them up and stick them in a baggie, and then I just throw them on the tree. So I think having kind of those brighter touches, like you mentioned for the big tree, Kelly, I think it helps.
I think it just makes everything, sets everything off, having the bright whites. The let's see, Sharon's idea, she used graphic 45 paper and put them on canvas boards.
Oh, definitely.
Because they do have those beautiful framed prints and things.
Yes, and I have done that as well. Yeah, they're suitable for framing, and they make great decorations for sure. So this tree might be on its way out. So I don't know.
I like the color.
Chippy.
It's got a kind of wiggly top, but I do like the color. It's kind of a teal.
It is. It's a little bit different. Yeah. So here, this little box was given to us by our Bonnie. She gave them out one year for Christmas.
She
to
did.
Everybody.
She made them.
And the box came from an old barn, didn't it?
Yes.
Which I love. And these were just ephemera pieces, I think, from Tim Holtz.
It looks like Tim Holtz, and there's your shiny bright box.
Yeah. So I love getting this out every year. So I got these out, Kelly, just because.
Oh yeah, let's see. These are special, Janet.
At Christmas time, not during the whole lead up to Christmas, but on Christmas Day, if we have family over, I will get these out. These are my mom's collection of holly dishes, and she, for years and years, collected these. And so I have quite a number of the serving dishes, and then also like the little specialty kinds of things. And she had certain things that she would use, certain dishes she would use to put her peanut brittle in, or her peppermint bark, or whatever.
That's so nice.
So I do enjoy getting those out, but they're really special to me. So I try to save it just for a day or two.
I wonder how many people make a comment if you have special dishes that you use at the holiday time.
Yeah, so they're just really, really cool. So
they are. I love it, Janet.
Anyway, so those are those.
When I was growing up, we had a Santa Claus plate and a Santa Claus cup, and we just one. So we had to take turns, my brother, sister, and I, on who got to use it, and that was very special. And it seems silly. It was just one plate and one cup, but like all your memories, it's something that I remember, and that was special between my brother and sister and I.
Was it like one of these cups, Kelly?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yeah,
it was very much like that.
This was my cup that I would put out for Santa with.
Oh, with cookies?
Yeah, with his milk and cookies the night before Christmas. So on here, I just have a variety of different things that are either my own things from my childhood or were my mom's. My mom collected restaurant ware, which is like that heavy stuff that you would find at a diner. And so I have some of her little pieces on here. And then also I have these, which were they called ephemera?
Ephemera,
Kelly?
yes.
Tim Holtz ephemera from years gone by. And that little deer is the same thing. It's something that I've cut out.
So that's a 3x4 ephemera that Janet put in a frame and then put on her tray. And trays are all the rage right now.
They are. But this thing just has a combination of stuff I found. Like this, I found at Goodwill. Didn't cost much. And then this was my grandma's. I have a whole collection of her little elves.
Oh, she really liked the elves.
She loved elves. I have so many of her elves, doing different things and different themes. And then over here, Kelly, I have this lunchbox I found at a yard sale, and the thermos picked up somewhere along the trail. Nothing special, but this
Yeah, tell
sleigh
about
bell,
the bell. That's really neat.
when I was cleaning out my grandma's house, my other grandma, my dad's mom, I pulled the items that were stored in a trunk out, and she was living in a nursing home at the time, and I found this, and I took it over to the nursing home, and I asked her to tell me about it, and she said that when her children, which would have been my dad and his sisters, were little, they would ring these bells outside of their bedroom window door at night, the night before Christmas, just to indicate that Santa was coming.
Oh, so kind of like maybe the sleigh bells, the
sleigh
reindeer
bells,
bells or
yes.
something. That is really, really cool.
And over the years, this is the only one that was left. And so I just love this, and it just has such a special memory. It was a memory for my grandma, and for her telling me about it, it was really special.
And I told Janet when she has grandkids, she's going to have to get the bell out and ring it on Christmas Eve to continue the tradition.
I love the sound of sleigh bells, for sure. This little village here, Kelly, is something that I picked up when I was in high school. We went on a tour with my high school class to New York City, and we went to the UN, and we got to visit a little store that had stuff from different countries, and that came from Germany. I thought it was so cool, and I've kept it all these years.
Oh my gosh, and you still have it.
Oh yeah, I love it, and I use it in various different places every year. And there are more pieces than that too.
Well, and that could also be Maggie's Village houses.
Yes,
you could put in a little dome like that too. Would be
definitely cool. I would love to have some of those. Shall we continue on?
Yes, let's keep going. Everyone's loving it.
Oh, good.
Lots of people have Christmas dishes, and Candace has the holly dishes.
Oh, no kidding.
So she has those.
Oh my gosh.
And Becky's got lots of elves. I think everybody really loves the fact of memories and people that we've lost, and how all of this holiday stuff kind of brings back.
It does. I think that it's just really fun to get those things out for Christmas and to think about people that you've loved and maybe aren't with us anymore. So on this landing here, Kelly, we have a small tree. I have a couple of different, what I would call pencil trees. One of them is the green tree that we saw earlier, and this one is the same size. And again, I make these in different themes every year. So sometimes it's gold ornaments, sometimes I have a collection of old world Santa ornaments, and sometimes
yeah, that would be nice too.
Sometimes it's that. But this year, my daughter is getting married, as you know, Kelly, next summer.
I'm excited for
yeah,
baby.
So are we. And this is the last Christmas that she will be home as a single girl. And so I thought it would be fun to get out some ornaments from her childhood and just decorate a tree that kind of has some things that mean something to her.
She will love coming home and seeing this.
When she was a little girl, this tree was in her room, and she would help decorate it with her own ornaments.
I see. Is that like a crocheted Oreo?
Yes, the lady up the street from us when I was a kid. Yes.
Oh my
Kelly,
gosh! And a crocheted lollipop. I've never seen these.
They are made from milk caps. I bet one of our viewers knows what these are, but they're made from milk caps. So there's a milk cap inside.
Oh, there is?
If you feel that.
Oh my gosh.
And when Bailey was born, she made Bailey a set of these crocheted ornaments. And I just think they're so fun. And we have them in various different characters. There's a Santa.
Here's a teddy bear over here.
There's a Santa. Here's a Santa.
I have never heard of this.
You've not seen it? She was known far and wide for her crocheted ornaments.
No, I have never heard of crocheted with the milk cap ornaments.
So there's probably even more that I didn't put on this tree. But yeah, so when Bailey was little, they were perfect to put on for a child because they're unbreakable.
Right, yeah, that's very true. Here's a little candy.
Yeah, so we would decorate her tree in with those for sure, and then other things we added as time went on. So I thought, just since she was coming home this year, it would be fun to have this out.
I think she's going to love this when she walks in the house and sees all these ornaments.
I hope so.
And many people like us, we have purchased an ornament for our kids each year.
Right.
When they were growing up.
Like this one I bought for Bailey when I was a Girl Scout leader and she was in Girl Scouts together. So this is a little s'more.
Oh, it is a little
Girl Scout s'more. So yeah, all of these have different memories for us. So I think it'll be fun. The napkins, I was going to point out this too, Kelly.
Yes, I wanted you to mention that.
For tree skirts, I tend to use like linens that I have. And these are just literally napkins that were my grandma's. And we used to use these on picnics. And I have I forgot to mention when we were in the kitchen, the tree skirt that's around the kitchen tree is the tablecloth.
Oh,
that goes with
yeah. So, but look how Janet's folded this in half like that, like in a triangle, and then she just lays them around the tree.
Yeah, so I used several of them. I don't know, 4 or 5.
Because sometimes you want to use something different under your tree, but it doesn't always fit. It's kind of awkward, but that's a great way to fold them.
Yeah, that has worked really well. So I just use what I have. I have some tree skirts, but I tend to think it's a little more fun to use linens that have some meaning.
Well, and you get different colors and things.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know if you're giving her the ornaments for her tree once she's married.
I have them all boxed up. Yes,
do you
ready
really?
for her.
So she'll be getting them.
At some point, she will get them. Right now, she has an all silver tree, and my mom had an all silver tree, so she's got my mom's ornaments on it.
That's really neat.
Which is really special. So
Lois said her daughter was married this past October, and this year she was able to give her all her childhood ornaments.
I love that. Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh, and Susan, this is a neat idea too, Janet. Susan put her kitchen Christmas tree base in a flower bag.
Oh, what a cute
I bet you have some flower bags.
I do. Now my wheels are turning. I do have something that could work for that. That's great. And that reminds me of something not to do. One year I got the idea it would be fun. Well, I've done this more than once, to put actual cookie cutters on my Christmas tree. But then I had to undecorate it when I wanted to.
When you wanted to make your cookies?
So I wouldn't do that unless you have a separate set. But yeah, really fun to have different themes.
You know, Janet, Christmas tree ornaments are kind of like a scrapbook.
Absolutely,
because they are like a photo of, like you said with the Girl Scout ornament, that's a photo and a memory of being in Girl Scouts together.
Right. And I have started, but have not finished, a little mini book of that will have pictures of each ornament and kind of the story behind.
I have been wanting to do that for years. I even took pictures of all of our ornaments a few years ago, but I'll have to see what you come up with, because I think that would be a great project.
I think it would be too, and that's about as far as I've gotten, Kelly. I've taken pictures, but I haven't formatted it or anything, because I wasn't quite sure how much space I would need, because obviously I have a lot of ornaments. But for now, what I have done is inside the boxes of the ornaments where I store them, I've written notes about where they came from. So
you're ahead of the game then.
Well, at least I'll be able to remember. So this is something different for this tree that I haven't really done in a while, and I thought it was really fun since she's coming home this year.
When she walks in the house and sees this, Janet, she's going to be taken back.
I hope so.
To memories, lots of memories.
This little chair was mine when I was a child, and it's always been red, and I have pictures of myself that my folks took in this chair, and then I have pictures of our daughter in the chair as well. So
you know what?
Really
what
special.
A great idea, everybody! Just to add, like you have your doll bed by your other tree, just add a little chair next to the tree.
It doesn't have to necessarily be Christmas, and I say get those special things out and use
Especially them. Like this is a tree that you're not going to really be putting gifts underneath.
Right.
It's just decorative, so that's a great tree to put some things by.
Exactly. All right.
Very, very amazing, Janet.
Oh, well, thank you. I do enjoy decorating for Christmas every year, and sometimes I think I get a little carried away, but it's fun for me. So this room is going to be changing probably first of next month. We're going to be redoing
We thought it was going to be remodeled before we got here for today, but little delays.
It's not going to be green anymore, but it will be the same color scheme as the kitchen. But for now, since it's the colors that it is, this is what I've been doing with this room. I've kind of kept this tree in, I would call it metallic kinds of themes, golds and silvers and stuff. And this is the other set of photo ornaments that you guys might remember We did last year.
Last year, Janet came on a video and showed us how to make all these photo ornaments.
So if I had not done my family history scrapbooking, Kelly, I would not have known who these people are. So it was only as a result of that project that I've been able to identify these people and then knew, who to put in the frames. So having done that project or done my family history, or at least started on it, it's made it really meaningful to have all of these people who came before me.
It is, and you know who they are. They're not just mystery photos like
Right.
we find a lot of times. And look, everyone, Janet's tucked in those little snowflakes.
Yeah, like we talked about before. My grandma had, the grandma with the elves, she had shiny bright ornaments on all of her trees, and she had all the different colors. And
did she have lots of trees, your grandma?
she did have more than one tree, now that you say
Yeah,
that.
because I think that's unusual for, back then.
She had a big tree and then a couple smaller ones, I would say probably 3. But I remember when she passed away, and my mom was cleaning out her house, and she said, I'm going to throw these ornaments away.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, no, because Mom didn't like them. And so I commandeered them all. And then since then, of course, anytime I find them, I get more. So I've been to, I was at a yard sale once where they were actually packing up, and they had boxes of shiny bright ornaments that I got on the cheap. So anywhere I find them, I do pick up more. But Grandma's ornaments were just lots of different shapes and lots of different colors, and I just love putting them on this tree in particular. So
yeah, that's very special that you have those, Janet.
So, and I like to use them too, just in dishes and stuff. And up here in that compote, Kelly, if you can see, there are some more shiny bright ornaments and other kinds of ornaments as well. And I think they're just so pretty when they're in glass. Mm-hmm. That particular compote was my great grandmother's, and it came.
Oh my gosh,
came from
Janet.
Germany. So I'm always kind of scared to put it out, but I get it out for sure once a year.
And even if you don't have the old ornaments or the shiny brights, you could even, if you have a special little dish or bowl, you can put any kind of new ornaments in it to add color.
There's some new ones in there too. They're not all shiny bright, but they just reflect the light so pretty, I think. And
I'm going to step back so we can see that. I like the arrangement on top of that buffet.
Thank you, Kelly. This little church I found at Goodwill. I didn't buy it, and I regretted it. And the following year, it was still there. So I went back and I bought it.
It was still there?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
And it did not have a bell in the what do you call it? The belfry or the steeple. Mm-hmm. And so I added a little bell, and I just love it.
Did you paint it at all, Janet, or
I
is
did
that
not.
how it came?
It was,
oh my gosh.
It was just cream, yeah. And I believe Don's daughter, Amanda, made this sign.
I have a sign just like that at my house.
I love that sign. And then back in the day, I made that pine cone tree. It's just one of those foam trees. Mm-hmm. And I stuck pine cones to it, hot glued pine cones, when I was pregnant with my daughter and I needed things to do. So
oh my gosh, well,
kept that all
I
these
think
years.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Rhonda says the tree in here is her favorite tree.
Well, it's I would say probably my favorite tree as well. So I just love the colors, and if you were to see it at night, it has a really nice reflective.
Yeah, with all the metallic
night,
ornaments, I'm sure that's beautiful.
So this is mostly silver and gold and copper, I would say, on this tree. So this has been fun for me to put together, and it's a really good space for these little.
It is, and
frames.
It's family.
Absolutely.
Well, Janet, here we're right back to where we started. Have we missed anything?
I think we've caught most everything, Kelly. But it's been a pleasure having you over.
Well, Janet, everything has been amazing, and it's very generous of you to open your home up to all of us.
I'm happy to do it.
200 people right now, and I know a lot of people will be watching it later.
Let me tell you, this is the easiest way to have 200 people over.
That's right. That's right. It's a good way to have company.
And you know what, Kelly? We have a really small family. I do this every year, and we almost never have anybody over. So it's
hey,
nice
not this year, Janet.
It's nice to have some company.
So far you've had 200 people visit.
Wow.
And I think you're going to have quite a few more on the replay. And we just I just can't say enough how thankful I am that you allowed us into your home.
Well, of course,
and showed us all your beautiful decorations. This is what this little corner here jumps out to me, Janet.
I would have to say that's one of my favorites as well, and it's only because I love that picture so much. It was just really fun to pull the colors out of that, and since I had a lot of green dishes, it worked really well for me. So.
And Janet, the hearts are pouring in. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh,
so I just want to say thank you again. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're on the scene at Janet's house.
On location.
And everybody loves it. And we'll be thanking Janet even more, I'm sure. And then tomorrow we're going to be back. Tomorrow's Thursday.
What is tomorrow?
Oh, wait. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I have no idea what we're doing tomorrow, but we'll be back in the store tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Plenty of time to figure that out, Kelly.
Yeah, I think we know. I just don't remember. I didn't look at the schedule. So thanks, everybody. Oh wait, I do know what we're doing tomorrow. Katie and I are showing some projects that Alicia brought in yesterday, and they are all Tim Holtz ideology amazing things. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning. So thanks everybody. Have a great day. We're open till 7 tonight. If you are out and about, stop in and see us. And otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow.